See, we said it before the camera went live. See, they don't get that, but they can get like my true thoughts is that we can't take 2 weeks off.
But why do you speak so softly on Weekly Heat? It's supposed to be Weekly Heat, and you talk like a pup.
Because I'm usually in my bedroom or my day off.
Oh, so you hide it in a corner when you're doing Weekly Heat?
No, I'm not hiding in a corner. I'm probably in my bedroom on my day off, and I'm talking to the people.
Oh, so you don't want nobody to see what's going on your laptop? No sounds in the background. So you kind of keep it quiet, kind of keep it to the volume of the computer. Is that
no, I do it on my cell phone. It's a cell phone. It's me
so
talking to the world.
Quiet.
I'm not quiet on there.
Guys,
I just have to speak louder because you're always yelling.
As hell.
He's usually in a gorilla position.
As
wink, wink.
Oh my God, that's what I do.
What? That's what you do?
Well, I have it on my podcast, Behind Gorilla's Position.
Oh yes. See, that's what the wink wink was really for. That's what it's really for.
It actually wasn't.
He was referring to the segment on your show.
No, I'm pretty sure it was more of a personal take.
Anywho, welcome everyone to the Pro Wrestling Spotlight presents True Hill Heat 39. We are coming live from the True Hill Heat headquarters, and we are going to be discussing this time. We're going to be discussing Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff becoming creative directors for Raw and Smackdown. We're going to be reviewing AEW Fyter Fest as well as ROH Best in the World, and we're going to be previewing this weekend's New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax 29 opener as well as Impact Wrestling Slammiversary. I am SP3, your True Hill Phenom, welcoming back the True Hill resident alcoholic himself, Top Guy JJ.
Let's get it started, baby. Got that kiwi, got that summer back. Alcohol's a part of my menu. It's gotta be. It is great to be back, and it is perfect timing for that good old summer culotta, baby.
And welcoming back to True Hill Heat for the first time since True Hill Heat 10, our first one. Yes, our first one on our YouTube channel. We got from the Jobber Tears podcast and from the brand new show Inside the Indies. It is none other than Janelle from HR.
I feel like,
hey, bro, what's up?
I feel like Larry's in disco right now.
Chrissy, I miss you.
Chrissy,
I was hoping that you was gonna be here.
I can never replace you.
I was listen. That spicy girl, I was here a couple weeks ago.
She's great.
She
keeps you
Oh
guys
my god.
She's usually almost breaking things on the show, though.
She breaks things?
Yeah, she kicks over chairs.
She breaks
paper.
She is violent.
I don't know why.
And she was very upset with your counterpart, Sir Wilkins, on the last.
I rubbed off very well on her.
What happened?
Well, she wasn't okay with Sir Wilkins being the replacement for Top Guy JJ. She doesn't like change too much. And then
I missed you too. I really did. I missed you too. I didn't miss this guy, but I missed you too.
Her and Sir Wilkins did disagree on a couple of topics,
what was the one thing they disagreed about the most?
I just feel like she was just the one thing that she was very upset about is that he got me food and didn't bring her food.
Wow.
Yes.
Now that's okay.
Wow.
Sir.
Wow, I didn't even see that part.
You bring food for everyone. That's just common courtesy. You come to someone's show.
He's a toxic individual.
Shameless plugs already.
Cheap plugs out here. But I'm all for it.
So, yes.
And damn, it's kind of good to have you back here.
It feels good and weird and exciting and all of the above. Like, I'm excited to be here. So
the folks already know about, like, the Jobber Tears podcast.
Yes.
We had Sir Wilkins on here a couple of times. We've had Mr. Black on here. We've had you on here before. But I want the people to know about your new show, Inside the Indies, very quickly before we get into the True Hill Roll Call.
Awesome.
Tell them about that show.
So about a month ago, brilliant ideas come, like either we taking a shower or you taking a shit. So one of the two happened.
Facts.
And I had an idea of getting kind of more of the background scene on the independent scene here in New York City. So I grabbed 3 of my good friends that are in promotions in New York, and we kind of just shoot the shit a little bit, and I called it Inside the Indies. And it was episode 1, independent wrestlers, and then we just did our episode 2, of Inside the Indies, which were all NYC promoters. So shout outs to Battle Club Pro, IWW, who just had their first show. So congrats to you guys, and BCW, who will be celebrating their 25th show in August. So I'm big on supporting independent wrestling in my city. So definitely check out on the YouTube page at the Job and Tears Podcast, Inside the Indies. You can watch it. You can do it on SoundCloud, iTunes, any platform, doesn't matter who, what, when, where, why. But just being an advocate of independent wrestling. So the next episode we're actually going to do, I'm going to give you guys inside exclusive
breaking news.
The next episode, which will be episode 3, and it will be at the beginning of August, and we're going to do referees. So we're gonna, I feel like they're the unsung heroes of wrestling. So we're gonna interview 3 referees here in the New York City area.
Oh, wow.
To nice. Kind of get their story, see, because I feel like that's one of the things you don't really hear about is like, how do you become a referee? Like, what does it take to do that? So I'm going to invite 3 referees that are well known in the independent scene and come and chat with us. So that's gonna be episode 3, and then the next one I'm debating if I'm gonna do managers or if I'm gonna do ring announcers. So it's a toss up for September, but stay tuned for August for that. So once again, on the YouTube page on demand at the Job and Tears Podcast.
Check that out for sure. That last episode with, like she said, all the promoters was definitely a great one. Speaking of which, we got to give a special shout out to Tom Special T Frazier, Amani Labels, and everyone from IWW Imperial World Wrestling for their inaugural event this past Saturday, Breakthrough. We were there live, Janelle and myself. I was representing True Hill Heat. We were one of the sponsors for the show. So shouts out to those guys. They had an excellent performance in Queens, New York, and definitely looking forward to the next event from IWW. So let's get into the True Hill roll call, because this one is the True Hill roll call that me personally, see, our producer is choking up in the back. There is a reason for that.
He's crying.
He's crying.
Already
crying. He's crying.
Like, come on.
We have a board. You guys, we're not going to show you the board, but he put on the board like a heart shape. It's like someone died because he saw the top 3 conversation starters for True Hill Heat. So if you're first time watching True Hill Heat,
please type it in the comments so we can shout you out.
Yes. Our True Hill roll call is where we shout out everyone that supports the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, our page on Facebook, our pages on Twitter, Instagram, and more importantly, the True Hills group page. The True Hills group page have a conversation starters, a top 10, and we shout out the top 3 every episode. And for, I would say, the last 10, 11, 12 episodes, we've had the True Hill Trinity, known as the True Hill Trinity, which was Jamie Tanak, our number 1 Ronda and Roman hater. We had the Negro.
Right up Janelle's alley.
She loves that shit.
Right up Janelle's alley.
Where's he from?
We have the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson.
Negro Buck?
Yeah, because he has the same name as the Young Buck, Nick Jackson, but he's a Negro.
Okay.
It just sounds like literally deja vu from the exact last episode when you explained the exact same thing.
Wait, did Lucas ask that?
It's that point of confusion.
So happens when your best
every
friend
time
like,
he explains that, like, Negro, bro. Like, I'm so racist.
No, it wasn't that it was racist. I was just like, but why?
But wait, what happened?
Yeah, like,
what happened?
Is he not just a regular guy?
And then the 3rd member of the True Hill Trinity was the Peruvian pimp, Bruno A.B. But Bruno A.B. has let down the rest of the True Hill Trinity because we have a brand new top 3. The True Hill Trinity is no more. There will be no t-shirt. Top guy JJ wanted you to last till True Hill Heat 40. I said 50. He said True Hill Heat 40. They didn't even make it to 40. So, we have our top 3 is as follows. The Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, who had went 7 or 8 True Hill Heats in a row at number 1, drops down to number 3. We got at number 2, the Simon Miller of the True Hills group page. The true face of all of the members on the True Hills group page. And the man that single-handedly took down the True Hill Trinity. Steve Salvage, the man who's been running our Raw and Smackdown threads on the True Hills group page. He has finally taken down the True Hill Trinity, and then coming in at number 1, finally he has reached the number 1 platform. I now have given him an official nickname. He is no longer the Roman and Ronda hater. He is now the Scottish sociopath, Jamie Tana. Yes, he's from Scotland. Yes, guys.
Nice. Don't you just love when you get like people that watch and support what you do and they don't even live in the States? Like,
it's a great feeling. Jamie, we give a hard time all the time, but he's a great follower to the page, a great member on the True Hills group page. So Jamie, we definitely appreciate you and we congratulate you on becoming number 1 on the group page. A couple of the True Hills we got to shout out: Jeremiah Babcock, Eddie Gaines, Cody Smith, Wynn Drew, Jacob Overy, William Crispo, I don't know, Byron Fonda, a couple of our YouTube subscribers, one of our good ones, Kayfabe Tactics. Kayfabe Tactics has been commenting on all of our videos online. I definitely appreciate him since he became a subscriber. JV Lewis and Norwell Music. So shouts out to those guys for becoming subscribers to our YouTube channel. Let's hear from the Spotlight and the True Hills.
All right, Nick Jackson names the new 3 the Tribunal.
The Tribunal. Wow. Okay.
And
how long did it take him to come up with that?
Wait, what?
what's wrong with it?
What?
The Tribunal?
It sounds like something like
All right.
Survivor.
I don't usually ask for clarification, but clarify that for me, please.
It's
I don't know.
Survivor.
No,
it makes sense.
No, it don't.
I get it.
Of course you get it.
I get it.
You're from
Me,
HR.
bro.
I'm not from HR.
Well, that's not
I am not a human resource representative. I am from the liquor store. So I need you to break this down for me in simple terms. I'm just saying.
All right.
Usually black people are from HR. She's from HR.
Well,
So, she's definitely smarter than I am. So I'm definitely
Cheers
not.
to that.
I ain't saying, I ain't denying it.
And Ike says, I'm just here to see that fine lady in the middle.
Of course. Ike.
Wait,
Ike says he's here for you.
Wow.
You're the show.
I'm not.
You're the show. You're the show. You're on the show.
I'm not.
It's not about JJ.
No, it is.
It's not about
I'm
me.
a guest.
It's about you.
I'm a guest.
I mean, I ain't
But
nothing
thank
wrong
you
with that.
for tuning in. I want to support my boys. I got the call 24 hours ago. Come on the show. I said, well, I haven't been in a while, and I felt a way about that. So I was like, well, I'm gonna come.
She's been throwing subs for like the past couple of months, especially when we have like Wilkins or Mr. Black on the show.
I was like, oh, so fuck me, huh? Oh, okay.
We had to
But you were on for a couple episodes prior to that. You
were on
the
True 9 and 10.
Well, I mean, those probably were your highest viewed, shows anyway. So it's okay. It's all right.
Okay. Like I told you, she's a smart woman. She's
saying.
business. She's into the numbers.
I'm just saying.
This is what happens when you get the Renee Young of wrestling podcasts on your show.
I'm trying not to be, but
all right. Can you just get a little bit more like edgy because you're spitting too many facts and I can't come back to that.
Well, it's okay.
You're too smart.
I'll try to tone it down.
Yes, dumb it down for me, please.
But let's get into the top news. And of course, we've been off for 2 weeks, but the number one news has to do with WWE and their decision to announce, I think it was a week and a half ago, WWE announced on its website and via social media that Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff have become creative directors for both Raw and SmackDown. This new role basically means that they will be the head of creatives for both shows. Heyman for Monday Night Raw and Eric Bischoff for SmackDown. They will only answer to Vince McMahon. This role was just created because of all the creative struggles in 2019 for the WWE. They will now directly talk to Vince McMahon. Eric Bischoff will deal directly with the Fox executives when SmackDown moves over to Fox. Paul Heyman's first week of Monday Night Raw was this week, where he had some influence over the show. Apparently, it actually started last week because Paul Heyman is high on Ricochet, and the decision to put Ricochet in the main event for the last 2 weeks was apparently up to Paul Heyman. and he's brought a whole bunch of different changes. We had a big explosion to start the show on Monday Night Raw.
Literally.
We have a cuckold storyline going on Monday Night Raw. The club is on Monday Night Raw. And Eric Bischoff has not sided on SmackDown, but over on SmackDown, we had Kofi Kingston giving up middle fingers. We had Kevin Owens being a heel in one half of the show and a babyface in the other. So it's a whole bunch of changes, a whole bunch of moves to make WWE programming entertaining again. And I'm gonna start it off and say it was entertaining this week. It was very interesting to watch. But what was your guys' reaction to Heyman and Bischoff being named in these roles?
My first initial was I wish I was the fly on the wall in that meeting of contract signing and seeing how much they get paid. Like, I would love to see what money was thrown at them to say, listen, I need y'all on the team before anyone else can get you. Because ideally, they were kind of like low-key free agents.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were able to grab, especially Eric Bischoff, but it makes it exciting. It makes it, it kind of does give that 2005 feel again. Which isn't a bad thing because I feel like a lot of wrestling fans, like Mr. Black always talks about that ruthless aggression era time is his favorite time, and that was during, the Paul Heyman, Eric Bischoff era. So I feel like getting them back, it'll be kind of like the best of both worlds. Like, I think they will, once they find that groove and seeing like what the fans, respond to, because I think that's the one thing I've always liked about Paul Heyman is that he actually like looks at fan reaction, and kind of takes that into consideration more than I think Vince does. Like, Vince can be like, well, you can boo, cheer, I really don't give a fuck, I'm still gonna do what I want to do. But I feel like Paul is definitely one of those that will definitely take into consideration all the variables and then say, all right, listen, this is how maybe we should move. So I'm excited. I told you off camera, I said I'm in a space of wrestling where I'm kind of like, throw this shit on the wall, let's see what sticks. So, what were your thoughts?
Thank you, AEW. Thank you, AEW. Something had to happen. Something had to happen. And I kid y'all not, I was unfortunately not here for the last episode of True Hill Heat, and thank God I wasn't. Because I had no fucking clue what happened in wrestling over that period of time because I was done. It was that bad when it came to that company. So if we would have covered anything WWE, I would have had no clue what it was. I'd have had no clue. So reading the news and seeing the snippets, I was like, all right, let's dive into this shit one more game. And then I don't know how much of a hand they had in these past couple of episodes, but I was like, whoa. I mean, it's not all the way back, but you've seen a little bit of a sign. My favorite part of the whole week was the holy shit from Corey Graves.
That was
like
great.
That shit was.
That was not like a mistake.
That shit just vomited out. This shit just came out. It's like, yes, they didn't cut that. That was straight raw reaction.
Nah, that was in the script.
I don't care. But that's the story. But that's the whole bitch. But that's the story that I believe. That's the story that I believe. Like, it just felt. I was like, whoa. He had to react that way, and shit, you felt it. That was actually a pretty damn good sequence during the show, and actually the show wasn't terrible. It was actually a pretty decent show, and it still got a ways to go. SmackDown still got a ways to go, but it was like, if this is a piece of what somebody other than Vince, when they have their whole palm on it, and they just run it, and as Miss HR said, let's just see what the fuck sticks. Shit, I'm with it. I'm with trying new shit. At least try new shit.
But I feel like, especially, I just feel like across the board, like wrestling right now is just in a place where you really are throwing shit on the wall, literally. Just be like, all right, what works, what doesn't work. Everyone always talks about, AEW competing with WWE, and I have my own separate opinion about that.
No, you know who's really throwing shit on the wall, and I've been trying to defend it for a long time.
Who?
Ring of Honor.
Oh my God!
They've been throwing feces. So you said in a part of wrestling.
Yeah,
so I'm going to talk about. So that's WWE.
There's so many different things that can go left
and
right.
They throwing feces.
They aren't throwing anything. That's
feces.
the problem.
They throwing wet feces.
They're not throwing anything. They have Matt Taven as their champion, which I think was actually a really good change, but hasn't really done nothing with that. I saw on TV, like a TV show, it was like Kenny King versus Jay Lethal. I was just like, this black on black crime. I don't know how I feel about this, but cool, whatever.
But I get the point that you shouldn't just throw anything. But I think
they're not even in
WWE is actually trying something new, and it's actually improved the product, I would say, on week 1. What do you guys think of their decision to put Eric Bischoff in this role? Because what we're hearing is that backstage, some officials, some former TNA talent, and even some current talent are basically saying that if there was one move that showed that Vince is out of touch, it's putting someone that's as much as out of touch as him in this role in Eric Bischoff.
I mean, the worst move that he could have done was put Jim Cornette in the fucking position.
Yeah.
That would have been worse.
No.
As much
Russo,
as I
Russo
bro.
I feel like they're worse than Eric Bischoff.
I mean, you could have done well worse than him, and I think it just feels like it. They're saving their ace. I feel like they're saving the ace in case shit gets really bad, and that ace is Triple H. I think they're saving the ace.
So basically what came out this week was the more conversation of why Triple H wasn't chosen for this role. So what Uncle Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer, my Uncle Dave.
Your uncle.
Yes, my Uncle Dave. He basically said that WWE and Vince McMahon want to protect Triple H. Because if Triple H would fail in one of these roles, it would look tremendously bad because he's supposed to be the successor to Vince McMahon. So and that to me kind of makes me feel like the WWE knows this shit's gonna fail. That's what it kind of.
I think it's more or less like if hypothetically the shit sunk, it wouldn't really be a homegrown WWE fault. It'll be in a sense where when you pick like a COO and a CFO, and let's say for instance, your financials are tanking, you can blame the CFO. Like him putting Bischoff and Heyman in those roles allows him and everyone around to point fingers instead of saying it's Hunter's fault.
That's what I feel. I feel like Bischoff and Heyman are going to be fall guys if it doesn't improve.
But there's always, in any company, there's always a fall guy. Like it's not even like let's protect those that we want to protect. It's just at the end of the day, you got to have a contingency plan. And right now, the plan is to put Eric in those positions, see what happens, and if they fail, that's on them. It's like walking the plank almost.
But goddamn it, I want them to succeed, man.
No, I think
I don't even want to talk about them. I don't even want. I want them to succeed because literally, it's gonna now not only create a better product for us to watch and for us to talk about, it is gonna genuinely make any other outside organization that is in the United States truly step their shit up even more.
But I mean, and this is the one thing that I have to always plug in, is like when your company is on a global scale, then we can be on the same platform. Until you reach that global scale that WWE is on, and it may not be the best product, everybody may not watch it every week, but you cannot deny that the company is a $1 billion company on a global scale. So until another company is on that same platform, we can talk till we blue in the face. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we can talk till we blue in the face, but at the same time, it's like there's a reason this decision has occurred. There's a reason this has happened. The outcry of negativity has led to decisions like this. This is not something that's just clear water out of the blue. Sit down, have a meeting, and just say, "Hey, let's just shake things up." The feedback has been terrible about WWE, no matter how much money they got. That money could run out.
And regardless of how you feel about it, of you don't consider AEW competition until they're on that global stage, these moves and the decisions by WWE shows that WWE sees AEW as competition.
They see, I think once again that 5-10 year down the road. Yeah. So if they don't, the wheels on the bus don't roll round and round right now, they're gonna fall off the road, down the road. So I think they're gonna position themselves so that they keep running in the race, so that they're in the race. Because they already know they're way ahead of the race, but
they're decades ahead.
Right.
But clearly,
when you have a potential,
they're feeling the heat.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd rather heat comes from under their asses and makes wrestling interesting again than it being same old bullshit.
Okay, so before we get into our final question for this topic, let's hear from the Spotlight and the True Heels.
Anthony Carragher said,
Hey, shout out to Behind the Barricade.
Okay.
Shout out, yes.
He says, I mean, so far Raw and Smackdown has been better and more edgier in a sense, I guess. LOL, we shall see.
That's the best way to put it.
Right. I mean, yeah. It's not there yet, but it's like you kind of seen, you want to believe you've seen improvement. You want to believe it. But it's how, can it be consistent? Can they do it for 2 weeks? Can they do it for a month? How can...
Steve Salvage says Heyman might be a little handicapped because he has to finish out Vince's storylines until after the pay-per-view.
Yeah, but I can see him getting to a better conclusion than what Vince was going to get to on most of the stories. And it's already seeming like that with like stuff like Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman.
Because I was reading not too long ago, like earlier this week, that it was like Vince's idea of getting a club together was gonna happen.
Yeah.
It was Paul
because that was his whole thinking with re-signing the club.
Right, to put them together. But it was Paul's idea to put them here.
Yeah.
So I think having two brains at the table can look what happened at the end of Raw. You were like, oh shit, AJ Styles doing his style clash on the second row. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So
definitely was an entertaining end and close and angle to end Monday Night Raw for sure.
Marcy, thank you for watching, brother.
I was gonna say, shout out to Marcy Colran, first time here for this, enjoying it so far.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Any other first time watchers, just shout it out.
Yeah, comment in the comment section, and especially for our YouTube subscribers, we want to hear your answer to this question. So the final question about this. So besides, we talked about Paul Heyman, we talked about Eric Bischoff in these roles, we talked about Triple H not being chosen for this role. So who would be the one person you would have thought would be perfect for this new creative director role that wasn't chosen?
You have to go first because you said you had an idea.
So I have the perfect
and I want to know if it's the same person.
I have the perfect person.
Bruno!
Oh my god.
No.
This guy's ridiculous. Bruno's awesome, but I want to get him for a creative director. We'll probably have Rey Mysterio, a naked Rey Mysterio, winning the WWE Championship. If Bruno was in charge.
In USA colors.
In USA colors, for sure. But my choice is not Eric Bischoff. I'm sorry. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. I said it to you guys on Weekly Heat, and I'll say it right now. The Eric Bischoff decision is very out of touch. If there's one person more out of touch in professional wrestling than Vince McMahon, it's Eric Bischoff. If you list the laundry list of talent that Eric Bischoff saw nothing in, it's ridiculous. Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. That's just in the 90s. Let's talk about his TNA run. He made AJ Styles Ric Flair. He made AJ fucking Styles Ric Flair Jr. He didn't see nothing in Kazuka Okada. He didn't see nothing in the Young Bucks. He just saw Jay Lethal as a guy who did impressions.
No, he was black.
It's just like a laundry list. This guy is so out of touch. There's a reason why people are saying like that's the decision that's like, Heyman's like, yes, this is what we wanted. Bischoff's like, I don't know about this. I think we should have chosen Triple H. But I get the not picking Triple H because you got to protect him. He's the successor. There is someone else that you could have put in this role. Because this role is all about the stockholders. It's all about putting someone that the stockholders would have recognized. Someone that's been successful with the company in a creative role. Not Eric Bischoff, because that was back in 1998. It's been 20 years since Eric Bischoff's been successful in a creative role. But there's been a guy who created a company that is still running today, that works for WWE in their creative position, and that's one of our favorite wrestlers of all time, Double J, Jeff Jarrett.
I swear to God, that was exactly what I was thinking of.
Double J, Jeff Jarrett.
Double J was on my fucking list.
Excuse me, Slapnuts?
Yes.
The King of the Mountain shit was brilliant. Like the time of Impact of TNA days, Jeff Jarrett hands was all on that bitch. Like, I got this.
As long as
I'm so glad.
As long as Jeff Jarrett ain't booking himself,
he can't book himself.
He's a pretty good booker.
He cannot book himself. But literally, you went downstairs and I went on my phone and I was just like, who could? Because I was like, I don't know who to say. Like, I have no idea. And literally, Jeff fucking Jarrett popped in my
Yeah, I mean, that's
I was like, yo, that shit is. And at first I was like, yo, I don't know if I would say it because I was like, I don't know if Sid's gonna think that's right. I don't know. But just creatively, like what he did for Impact, he started a company. It is still running on fumes a little bit from time to time.
Well,
but
yeah, we're not gonna get into that.
We're not gonna get into that, you know. But definitely before Dixie Carter ever got her hands on the company, Impact TNA was lit. Like TNA was giving.
They had a time.
Was giving people
exactly.
a run for their money, and I definitely think Jeff had. Like I always believe with wrestling, you have a different eye for certain things. Like Paul has a different. Paul's eye is more of interacting with fans and understanding the fans' reaction and understanding what is needed to get an emotion out of a fan. That's Paul's eyes. Jeff's eyes is minus him booking himself. You know, like. 1,000 million times as being champion. We're not gonna get into that. But Jeff's eyes is definitely more of a kind of like a groundbreaker kind of eye where he, once again, started in TNA. So the way he positioned people and started do different matches, changed, the ring from a square to a fucking an octagon and type shit. Like, it takes a different type of eye to kind of maneuver certain things and keep you interested as a fan. So that makes me happy that we actually thought of the same person.
We're right here on this one.
Like that. Who did you think, JJ?
I mean, he's definitely not the first choice that anybody would ever think of, but just for somebody that I think has been in the wrestling business for so long, I think if he gets a crack at it, I think it would just be a fresh opportunity. And he hasn't done any of this before. And it's just somebody that I just think that if he is put in his chance and he gets a chance, I think he could do pretty goddamn good at it. And that choice for me would be Tommy Dreamer.
Okay.
I think the passion that Tommy Dreamer has for wrestling is unmatched by any human being alive. I don't think no one loves wrestling more than Tommy Dreamer. So the mindset that he would have, if even thought of for an opportunity like this, he would see everything through with passion, whether it succeeds or fails. Like, that was just clear-cut option number one for me, because it's like, yo, Tommy Dreamer to me is wrestling. And that was just my thought process. It's not knocking anybody else's choice. It's not knocking Jeff Jarrett's choice, because I think he would be a great pick. But if I had to pick somebody, I pick wrestling. I pick Tommy Dreamer.
I usually knock JJ's choices, but that's a choice I didn't expect him to say.
No,
so that was a good one. That was a good one. The other one I would have said was Gabe Sosowski, who is the booker for Evolve and was the former booker for Ring of Honor back in the Ring of Honor glory days. I would have picked Gabe as well because he also works for WWE. So there's a lot of people in the WWE creative position already that could have took that role and been better in it, to me, than Eric Bischoff.
No, but like I told you off camera, I feel like with Bischoff, it was definitely more.
Yo, how many alarms you got, man?
That was the last one.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, that's the I gotta make up for.
Like, I know I'm usually late, but fuck, I ain't that late.
Yeah, usually, that's the JJ's probably at 7-Eleven drink.
Like, come on, I ain't.
Like
we're like a half hour in, like, I ain't that late.
But no, but I think with Bischoff, it's more or less like because they're going on Fox, because they're going, they're going on that like different. Fox wants a raunchier product, just point blank period. And I think Bischoff, from even though he didn't see cruiserweight talent, he definitely gave at times a raunchier product. Like at times it was like, oh shit, what is going on TNT tonight? Like he understands that kind of like when it's time to kind of get dirty and get in your hands. I do think the only way for success on the Bischoff side is if he's not on camera. I do think that if he just honestly sits in Gorilla, understands how to produce, which he does, and he can do it very well. I just think off-camera Bischoff will have more success than on-camera Bischoff, because then it will. I think both of them, and Paul's always going to be on TV because of Brock, but he's only going to be in that capacity.
Yeah.
So, but if they were like to put themselves in storylines and all this type of shit, it would get real tacky. It would get real 2005, and I think that's the route they need to avoid in order for this to really grow. And
unlike Paul, Eric, Paul, unlike Eric, doesn't have that track record of when he became a TV personality or on-screen role, he completely shit the bed as creative. That was Eric's downfall when he became a TV and an on-screen character.
Because it was hard to juggle. And
I just don't think he was able to handle the level of success that he had.
That
amount of money, the success,
that was
the people you were dealing with. And I told you that off camera. So I said, even though he didn't appreciate the cruiserweight division in WCW, even though it was the first fucking hour. Outside of like Hogan, Paul, Nash, it clouded I think everything.
And then 20 years later, he still didn't appreciate anyone outside the NWO. And Sting, Jarrett, like Hogan, they got the most camera time in TNA because of Bischoff.
And this is not defending Eric Bischoff, but at the same time, the level of success that had was unprecedented in wrestling. That shit still hasn't been matched. So
because it was groundbreaking.
It was so. But how do you get out of that if you change the game? So it's like, how can you get out of that and then evolve to something more when what you've done was probably the greatest thing in wrestling history? How do you get out of that?
And then what ended up happening was there were so many other fingers and hands outside of his control that ended up wanting to be a part of WCW. Really, and I actually like Vince Russo. I'm not even gonna hold you to it, but once Russo got involved, it was Titanic. It was literally WCW was Titanic and Vince Russo was the iceberg, and that's what happened.
Let's just be thankful Russo wasn't chosen for these roles. But we're gonna talk more about Bischoff and Heyman for sure in these roles as it progresses. Bischoff is apparently going to take his role full time after Extreme Rules, so we're for sure going to talk about that on future True Hill Heat. So we got to move on to our next topic. Our next topic has to do with the WWE Universal Champion, aka Twitter Fingers himself, the architect of social media debacles, it seems like. Seth Rollins, yes, and botches. Seth Rollins went into a Twitter war recently. Before WWE Stomping Grounds, which was about 2 weeks ago now, WWE Universal Champion went out on Twitter and said WWE Stomping Ground would be the best wrestling on the planet, period. This started a huge uproar where different wrestlers from other organizations kind of poke fun at it, at WWE at one of his worst times, and his champion putting out a tweet like that. Seth then doubled down when other fans commented on it, and he says that WWE has the best wrestling, period. Then after the Cruiserweight Championship match at Stomping Ground, and it was a great match, he went out and he doubled down even more. He said, did you see that Cruiserweight title match? No one in the world can do stuff like that. He said no one in the world can do what he does as consistently as he does it, as much as he does it. And Will Ospreay responded to that. He said no one alive can do that. And Will Ospreay responded to that tweet with, I'm alive. Because Will Ospreay is one of the best wrestlers in the world and is doing it as consistent as Rollins. Rollins was triggered by that. So Rollins tweeted back at Will Ospreay, calling him a little guy and kind of talking down to him. Then basically said that WWE had the better version of him in Ricochet, and he just won the United States champ. Yeah, there is. Exactly. It's very debatable because it segues into the timeline. When you think about the fact that WWE sent Paul Heyman to England to try to recruit Will Ospreay because Will Ospreay was in negotiations with World of Sport and WWE wanted Will Ospreay for NXT UK, they recruited him with Paul Heyman before they even knew about Ricochet. They didn't know about Ricochet until when? Until they saw his match with who? Will Ospreay. It's ridiculous, and
they probably saw the gift.
Then Seth Rollins
only saw the gift.
Seth Rollins made it worse because Will Ospreay did an interview with Wrestling Observer talking about the Twitter roar, and he was informed by one of the fans during the interview that Will Ospreay actually had more matches in 2019 than the WWE Universal Champion Seth Rollins. Even though Seth Rollins says we work 300 days a year and we wrestle all these times, Will Ospreay has more matches than him. So Will Ospreay went out on Twitter and said, in 2019, Will Ospreay has more matches than Seth Rollins. Mic drop. And
now I would have felt triggered too if he would have put the Obama.
Yeah, he put the Obama.
That was fucked up.
But Seth was very much triggered because he said, "Oh, if you want to compare numbers, let's compare bank accounts." He already lost. Yes, he already lost there, and he said, "Let's compare."
I think those bars.
Nah, it's not. It's not. When the whole subject is about wrestling, and then you have to bring up bank account, my dude, you took your L. And that's why Will responded to him and shut the whole thing down. He said, "Bro, what is all this changing of the game of the goalposts? It was all about." Your quote was, "No one alive can do what I do as consistently as I do it. Nothing to do with money. Nothing to do with Ricochet. It's you versus me. I just put up that I have. You said that WWE does it more than everybody else. I've had more matches than you. That's something that refutes your fact." And he said, "But good luck." And then Seth, in his tweet, he was like, "Oh, that's with a back injury. I did all these matches." And Will Ospreay ended his tweet with, "Hope your back feels better." Bars. Shut it down. And Seth Rollins took his L this week with apologizing to Will Ospreay.
Which he shouldn't have done.
So what was your thoughts on this whole timeline between Seth and Will Ospreay? I know you are a WWE. You're holding down the flagpole for the WWE marks of the world. So
I don't really feel like
I know you don't. You follow the indies.
But
so you're
a
true wrestling fan.
I try to, I think over the years I've learned that there's more than WWE, and I think growing up, I started, once again watching ECW, WCW, and WWF. Like, you didn't really know. Like, and then once those kind of then you just had WWE. So that's all you knew. So I think over the last few years, I've definitely, personally, made it my business to learn different things and learn different promotion and indies and other, professional promotions and blah, 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 blah. I feel like with Seth freaking Rollins, I would have preferred a non-apology just as, like, a girl from Brooklyn, New York. I'm sorry. Like, if you gonna say some shit, I'm gonna need you to hold that same energy. Like, I'm gonna need you to be like, well, I said what I said, and that's it. And you might drop. Like, I mean, I think the whole changing of I thought the bank account shit was funny because I just was like, oh, that's a low blow, but okay, that's what happens when you're going back and forth with somebody. Like, you go low, but then you apologize. It's like, now you look pussy. Like, why would you do that? Like, you look crazy. Like, that shit that bothers me more than any fucking tweet you could ever say. Now, if we're gonna put match to match, cool. Like, Will Ospreay has more matches than you. Who gives a fuck? Like, you still, if you know you're making more money, then why the fuck is you even responding? Like, all right, bro.
Why did Seth talk about wrestling? He should have just talked about money.
But Seth, first of all, Seth is not even like a social media guy, so all this actually
I know.
Sounds really.
It sounds like his girl is putting his battery in the back.
It actually sounds sus as fuck. Like, when I read up on it, I was just like, Seth don't even talk like this. Seth don't even talk on it. Like, if you look on his Instagram, all he does is CrossFit shit. Like, he don't bother nobody. So for him to go back and forth with Will Ospreay, I was like, what are we doing? Like, what is this?
And it's not often that Will Ospreay wins Twitter wars. He usually loses.
Really?
He lost to Sadie Gibbs in a Twitter war. Yeah, he's lost to a few people on Twitter.
I mean, maybe it was one of those things like you take all these L's and you get that one W, and that's the W that.
I mean, he's winning OD. He has little guy T-shirts that say "Burn Twitter down." Like, he's winning OD. He's about to make money.
I'm all about a good come up. I think once again, wrestling is wrestling. Like, appreciate the craft, appreciate what you have. Like, who gives a fuck if you have more matches than me, like, or 5-star. Like, wrestling is wrestling. Like, you're gonna have great matches, you're gonna have terrible matches, you're gonna have best in the world matches, you're gonna have worst in the world matches. Like, at this point, it's just like, why even go through the back and forth shit? But Seth, once again, New York Code of Honor, keep the same energy. If you said what you said, fuck it, you said it. The end.
One comment from Jamie Tannock. You have to feel a little sorry for Seth. The most over people in his main event at Stomping Grounds were his girlfriend and CM Punk. And neither were supposed to be in the match.
I don't feel bad for Seth. And I think it's weird, the whole on-screen, like, when they started that shit. I'm
very uncomfortable. It's very cringeworthy seeing them on
camera. First of all, it was actually cringeworthy to actually find out that they were dating. So it was just like, this is weird. I don't know what y'all have in common besides wrestling, but cool. But just the whole on-camera thing is just they have weird. No chemistry. And the fact that when she smacked him on his ass, I was just like, oh, that's some bitch nigga shit. Like, why would you even let her do that to you? And then on Raw, when Maria Kanellis called him a whole bitch, I was like, see, this is why you're getting called a bitch. Because you let your shorty smack you on your ass. Like, would you let your shorty smack you on your ass?
In private, yeah.
In private.
Yeah,
not in front of 10,000
not in front of,
people.
not in front
not
of
on national TV.
Millions sitting at home.
At home.
Well, JJ, what did you think about the Rollins Ospreay Twitter war?
Why you laughing? You're dying.
So she smacked him in the ass.
Exactly. I'm comfortable with that part.
Like, no, that part I was like,
I was more referring to the promo.
like,
they had backstage.
I
That
could
was
never
another
see
thing.
myself, like any dude on there, I could never see myself be like, on national TV? Yo, backstage, everybody's gonna call you a bitch. Like, straight up. Like, I'll be like,
You saying Seth ain't a roughneck?
no. He's from fucking Davenport, Iowa. Are you kidding me? Like, we really gonna do that? Like,
I mean,
yo, like,
I mean,
if he was a roughneck,
Alright. Yo, so that was a lot to digest, right? That was a lot to digest.
yo, baby, such a baby laugh.
That was really a lot to digest.
They're never gonna invite me back now, guys. Thanks a lot.
So thoughts on the Twitter war. So you know when you like, you know when you think you got this cool thought in your head when you playing like this video game and you think you can just get on there and you can just start saying whatever the fuck you want, but then when it actually comes out, it's like, what the fuck just happened? Exit stage left. It's like Seth literally lost as soon as he started talking. He is not a talker. He is this guy that's handed a script. He delivers the script. He leaves. He does his job. He goes home. Now you insert Becky Lynch into the equation, right? You insert Becky Lynch. Now, I don't really care what they have in common as far as relationships are concerned. I don't care about any of that stuff. That stuff doesn't matter to me whatsoever. Hope they work out whatever the hell happens. But let me explain something to you. When you get slapped on your ass as a grown-ass man, you know back then, and anybody knows this, and we all in our 30s, so we know this, right? Back in the 90s, the minute you jumped in the double Dutch rope, you lost all your manhood.
All of it.
You lost all your manhood once you jump. You could do single rope and you could be cool, but once you jump in the double Dutch, it's over for all of your manhood. You are stripped. You have just became the bitch of the whole crew. He became the bitch of the locker room when he got slapped on his ass by the woman.
The man's man.
And then
she's not William Regal. Let's calm back down.
You literally, like you literally just gave up your manhood on national TV.
And I feel like no one knows. Like, I feel like fans don't understand this.
Officially, Lacey Evans became more of a man than Seth Rollins at that moment. So we gotta understand what the significance of what happened and what took place here. You're not gonna call yourself the man. You're not gonna call yourself the Beast Slayer. You're not gonna say burn it down. You're not gonna have shirts that said the man. You're not gonna be this freaking guy when you get your ass touched by a chick, and at the same time
the only
you
thing
wanna.
that saved
And
him
then
was he didn't jump.
what made it worse is
Only thing
that
that
Shorty
saved him.
held the ropes open for this nigga, and he went through them. Like, no.
Like, she pulled the Miss Elizabeth, and that didn't bother me. But I will say the one thing that saved Seth was he didn't jump. When she smacked his ass,
he wasn't ready.
He just turned around like, bitch,
he wasn't ready.
Like, bitch, what?
He wasn't ready
He
for
didn't
this.
jump, so he already know he don't take it in the ass
So,
like some other people.
Like Ricochet.
So overnight,
Whoa.
Seth realized after having all of these man pills, just said, yo, I just lost in so many ways. I'm sorry.
Let me count the ways.
Like, I'm sorry to Willie. I might not have a Willie after this. I'm sorry to Will Ospreay. And it's, dude, like, you just done fucked up in so many, like, yo, who's gonna really believe this man as Universal Champion at this point? Like, he's the champion of all the men now? Like, come on. Come on. They might as well just switch titles. They might as well literally just switch titles at this point. I mean, Becky Lynch is the Universal Champion right now, and Seth Rollins is the freaking Raw Women's Champion right now. Like, they need to just stop. Like, I can't. Like, I'm telling you, that when he got slapped on his ass, I'm just like, when you don't let that. No. There's certain man codes that you just don't fucking fuck up on, and that is one of them. I agree with SP all the way. The things that my woman would do to me in the privacy of what we do, what we gotta do when we do things to make things happen. You know what I mean? Shit.
This just became real.
I'm just saying. But on national motherfucking television, nah, bro. And I swear to God, if there's a man alive that doesn't do anything to please a woman, you deserve to get dumped tonight.
I think the best tweet about this whole thing was someone that tweeted,
this light is blinding, son.
Well, I guess Twitter game isn't sexually transmitted. So let's hear from the Spotlight and the True Hills.
That's unique.
I ain't gonna lie, that was a lot.
That's unique. But I feel like people don't understand that ass smack for me. That
done. That shit.
Fucking sealed
He jumped in the double dutch rope. He jumped in double dutch.
Whoa.
This is 2019, guys. Come on. What's the big deal?
The big deal?
Yeah.
What kind of significance is grabbing my nuts in 2019 had the same thing that it had in 1999? The same motherfucking thing.
No, it was honestly...
He ain't grabbing nothing else down there.
It was definitely like the chain of events that...
What should he have done as a response? Smacked her?
Smacked her ass.
Can we hear from the Spotlight and the True?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
It's like also like
the only response I would have won Seth Rollins right there was he would have grabbed her head and just sucked her titty right in the middle of the ring. That would have been the only way he would have won.
It's the Edge and Lita.
Yes! The line, yes! Yes! Take your manhood back. He lost his manhood.
That's like grabbing by the pussy.
No. I said grab her by the hair.
No, we're not doing any of that shit.
Oh, why? Oh, you ain't getting grabbed by your hair in the bedroom? Let's talk about it.
That's not. This show's not about me.
Where is this going?
Off the rails, as
usual.
Right on track.
Yes.
Off track.
Steve Salvage says she just dropped a William Regal reference. Props.
Oh, thank you. I know my shit.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh God! If that's all from the Spotlight and the True Hills, we can move on. So that's it. So yes, our final main top news topic has to do with WWE. Another petty Vince move, as I like to view it.
I'm starting to love these petty Vince moves.
WWE
I'm
announces
such a fan of these things.
that Evolve 10th anniversary celebration will be on the WWE Network on the same day as AEW Fight for the Fallen. It was announced just last week that Evolve's 10th anniversary celebration next Saturday, July 13th, will air live for the first time on WWE Network. Yes, Evolve, that has been in a partnership with WWE for over 3 years now, since 2016, for the first time will be on the WWE Network on the same day that AEW All Elite Wrestling will be having Fight for the Fallen, their charity event for victims of gun violence in the Jacksonville, Florida area. And that is going to be the same day. So what do you guys think of WWE's decision to air Evolve on this night? A lot of people view it as a petty decision. We had Kenny Omega come out with tweets basically saying that it made him sick that they would put the show or air the show on the WWE Network the same day as a charity event. And other fans came out and publicly demeaned WWE for the decision. Other fans came to WWE's defense, saying that it was a business decision and a decision that WWE wanted to help the fans. WWE helping fans, yes. So what did you think about WWE's decision to put Evolve 10th anniversary?
You know what it is? It's as guys. Okay, so I'm asking you a question. I'm gonna get in moderator position for a second. Has there ever been 2 events on the same day that you wanted to go to?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So what kind of makes this any different where they decide to air Evolve? Now you don't have to watch it like how anyone, like you don't have to watch it at the same time, or you could if you got high tech shit, got 2 TVs, go for it. But I just feel like I don't feel like it's a petty move. I feel like with WWE at times they plan stuff in advance.
All right.
And now they might have announced
Cut
it
the shit.
kind of like kind of shady.
Cut the shit.
Kind of shady.
Plan.
But I think that with the partnership they have evolved, and honestly,
they just hired people last week. You talking about plan? They just hired people last week. You talking about plan?
Hiring? How long?
Yeah, they making these moves on the fly.
But do you know?
These moves are happening on the fly.
Do you honestly know like how long they've been talking to Eric Bischoff and Paul? No, we don't know that. We can assume and be like, oh, this shit just happened out of nowhere. We can't. We can always assume that.
Are we really going there?
No, I'm just saying. I'm the person where you gotta look at both sides.
No.
Yeah, like it's not fair to be one-sided.
No, fuck WWE side. Like, are you serious? Look at both sides.
Look at both sides.
Look at both sides. They hired people a week ago into 2 executive roles to the 2 biggest shows on network television, and you gonna sit and talk about how long they planned something?
But you don't know that. I don't know that.
They just made this decision 2 days before this podcast.
Hiring process
playing shit
versus a show that they're airing on the network, which you don't have to watch at the same time. You don't have to.
This has nothing to do with planning. I love you and everything. This has nothing to do with planning.
They
ain't planning this shit.
I'm all for petty.
They scared as shit. They scared to death.
I can fuck with petty man any day of the week. But I just think that I'm not gonna say it's a total coincidence. But I mean, guess what? There's been plenty of things. Like I wanted to go to the MLW show. It was the same fucking night as Wale Mania. I had to choose one. You know what I mean? So you gotta pick your poison.
To play into what Janelle's devil's advocate thinking, Uncle Dave Meltzer did say in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that his sources in WWE said that this Evolve event was in the works for a while, that it wasn't a decision based on AEW Fight for the Fallen. So she does have credence to think in this devil advocate way. But I mean, let's go all the way back to 1988, when WWE decided to run Survivor Series. Why? Why did they decide to run Survivor Series? Oh, it was because it was the same day as WCW Starrcade. Yeah. Let's go. We can go back to let's talk about coming up on August 31st. AEW All Out in Chicago. WWE decides to announce that NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff will be on the same exact day.
Which is on the same day as that New Japan show.
As the New Japan
That's
Royal
actually
Quest.
in the UK.
Yes.
So
they screwed themselves on that one. So as we've seen, the petty moves don't always work in their favor.
They don't. That's the whole notion about being petty. Like it may work for you, it may not work for you. But
I agree with her that there is some business decision behind it as well. This Evolve, they have been talking about putting Evolve on the WWE network for a while. And this is why I say it's a business decision and it's a smart decision. If Evolve has a better show than AEW Fight for the Fallen, WWE wins. If Evolve doesn't have a better show than AEW Fight for the Fallen, that's their out. Hey, we didn't even bring out our big guns. We put out our secondary partnership, our feeder system. We put out below our developmental system. We put out the promotion we use to recruit for the developmental system.
I will say, it's a very good bottom. Like, shout out to Evolve. They were just here this weekend here in New York on Saturday and Sunday. And we went to the show on Sunday. And I thought it was, like, once again, you see guys that you see, like, Undisputed Era was there. Tyler Breeze was there. So you see guys you know, but then you see guys you don't know. Like, you might have never known. So I think, and I'm actually really excited about this Evolve 10-year anniversary card because they have Adam Cole versus Baby for the NXT champ. Like, that alone, I was like, oh, they're trying to, big guns is coming out.
I mean, I like the announcement of Matt Riddle versus Drew Gulak. If you're a Evolve fan, you know these are two members, the original members of Catchpoint, which is one of the biggest stables in Evolve history. So that's going to be a great match. The announcement of a title versus title, the WWN title versus the Evolve Championship Austin Theory, our boy Austin Theory
Austin
versus JD Drake. That's going to be a great match as well. So this card is really like building up. I think we're going to talk about that more on the next True Hill Heat, as well as AEW Fight for the Fallen. But what did you, Top Guy JJ, think about Kenny Omega Sweeps reacting to this announcement? And do you think that he was in the right in putting out these tweets, these public comments about his feelings about WWE making this decision with him being an executive vice president for AEW?
Just be fucking used to it by now. Like, I mean, they're gonna continuously poke at y'all. No matter what y'all put out as a product, WWE is gonna poke at y'all. That's why I'm kind of loving these petty moves, because it gives us the chance to see how AEW reacts to it.
But I feel like WWE's not going to be the only ones to poke at them.
Yeah, but they're the only ones that video. But there are plenty more. But they're the only ones that matter. They're the only ones that matter. No one else matters at this point. Like, nobody gives a shit if ROH pokes. No one cares if Impact pokes. And quite frankly, as good as they are, as great as they are, people don't really care if New Japan pokes, because it's going to happen at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. No one is going to care.
No, unless they're in Dallas for the first time.
Unless they're in the States.
G1
which
Climax
doesn't
in the
happen
States for the first
often.
time,
Which
so.
happens like once or twice a year for them.
But do you not think that that's one of the reasons why it's in America this time? Because they know what's going on. The landscape of wrestling, once AEW started, the landscape of wrestling kind of shifted, because they pulled people from everywhere.
Kenny just needs to just shut the fuck up and just run his business.
I agree.
I agree.
No.
I'm just sorry, because they're gonna keep doing this.
I gotta keep the same energy.
And you can't be laughing.
Dude, you're the best wrestler in the world. Stop thinking you have this great business mind. You don't.
But that's what happens when you have at times wrestlers running a company.
No. I don't mind that. I don't mind. No, I don't care about that. I'm not talking about that, because what I'm going at with Kenny is that Kenny isn't any good at this. So shut up. Just wrestle, because you're not good at this poking shit. Because what you're saying is so cliche and so corny, no one gave a fuck about it.
No, I didn't even.
Just because you come up with this little cheesy line, no matter how good of a wrestler you are, if it's corny, it's corny. Just shut up. Just fucking get in the ring and do your thing. Become fucking Akuma and fucking get in the ring and wrestle with Ken and Ryu. Like, what the fuck? Like, shut up.
So let's hear from the Spotlight and the True Heroes.
That's how you end a segment.
All right, Sir Wilkins is on fire.
Hey, Sir Wilkins, other job to spot.
Hey, my toxic brother.
He agrees with JJ. Kenny is sensitive, and he says JJ must be sober because he is making sex.
Nah, this is actually my second full cup, brother.
Isn't.
This shit is getting bodied. You crazy? Always makes sense.
I feel like I'm on that
jobber. You need to come on here when I'm on here. SP, make that happen.
Going a
now
little.
You trying to replace me already?
No. There's 4 seats. Do you see the seat right here? There's another seat right here.
But there's not enough space.
Right here.
You know,
right here, sir.
He's a big, pause. He's a big.
I don't know about that shawl that's on there. I don't know whose shawl. That's probably Baby Seth's shawl. That's probably Baby Seth's shawl.
It's cold in here, guys.
It's chilly.
Yeah, it's a little nippy.
Going a little further back, he also said, "Can Sid let her talk, please?" And Jamie Tannick says WWE can't lose their entire take viewers away from AEW. If they don't, it's not an official WWE show, so it's really not an embarrassment from them if AEW draws, which it will.
Yeah, that's why I said it was a good decision to put it to make it the Evolve event, because even if it doesn't have a better show or it doesn't outdraw, I love that. They are out is that it's the feeder system. It's not their top guns. It's not NXT. It's not Raw. It's not SmackDown. It's not even 205 Live in NXT UK. They're good. So last bit of news we got to run through. We've already talked about AJ Styles turning heel and the club reforming.
After that happened.
We also talked about Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley's big explosion to kick off Raw. We talked about Kevin Owens' babyface turn ? On SmackDown. That was very confusing. Maria Kanellis announces she is pregnant.
What the fuck was that?
After one of the strangest angles plus burials.
It's like watching a car crash, but you can't take your eyes off it. It's like, how does this end?
Yo, Maria should never be on TV again.
But you know what? She's the better mouthpiece than her husband.
Yes,
like,
she is.
At the end of the day,
Well,
so
no.
I'm not surprised.
I apologize. That's actually 100% correct. That she needs better scripts. Because what that shit happened.
I mean, she
what
did
the
as
hell was that?
She called herself a bitch. Though.
I loved everything
whole
leading
bitch.
up into the pregnant part.
Because the pregnant part happened, and then it got awkward because she was just like,
because
well, you're not a man. I don't even know how you got me pregnant.
No, but
bitch,
the pregnant part, because the
yes, you do.
No, what's funny is because the pregnant part was the pregnant part is real. So she's actually pregnant. And then
Becky Nocell.
So
thank you.
Odd.
Becky Nocell. Like she literally
was so
tapped,
odd.
she did this to her stomach. I was just like, could you
Becky's the worst. She's
the
worst.
worst.
One of the worst actresses I've seen.
The worst. Like that shit just blew me. I was like, what the fuck?
What the fuck was that?
David Starr gets heat from WWE after stomping on the WWE UK title at an OTT event versus Walter.
Very equivalent to throwing the title in the trash.
It was. Ali reportedly has surgery this week. He's been out because of the surgery. He got the surgery this week. We've been seeing little vignettes building up Ali and a new character for him. We had our boy, me and Janelle, we had shots for him during WrestleMania weekend.
Trash.
Davey Boy Smith Jr., he gets offers from All Japan Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Noah after officially leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling earlier last month. And finally...
Your fave. Come on, tell the people. Tell the people at home. Your fave.
The Undertaker returned. He saved Roman Reigns.
Say it again.
Saved Roman Reigns.
Say it again. Say it those in the back. They can't hear you.
And apparently
he sets up a tag. Roman?
He sets up a tag team match at Extreme Rules in Philadelphia versus Drew McIntyre and the best in the world.
No, you didn't say it right.
The best in the world, Shane McMahon.
I want to meet Greg Hamilton so fucking bad, like so bad.
You cut me.
I am so annoyed.
I didn't know you could hold it.
No, I
was concerned.
I could go.
Oh, heard you.
Trust me.
I am so annoyed by this. Undertaker, he claimed to me before WrestleMania 34. Oh, Undertaker's coming back because he's a draw. Then why the hell is Extreme Rules giving out 2-for-1 fucking tickets, even with the Undertaker on the headline?
Let's budget. The fuck?
So this is Vince McMahon saying one last book.
No, this is Vince.
One last book.
Vince giving Taker
one last book.
More checks for the bullshit he pulled that he gave him at Saudi. This is his like, yo, you know what? My bad, bro.
Yo, he fucked up too, though.
I should have did that.
Keep that same energy. He fucked up too.
Nah.
He did. Oh, him and Goldberg equally fucked up in Saudi.
Not equally.
Please,
No.
We are not going there. No Saudi talk in. No.
He don't want to be.
No.
He's scarred.
No.
It's burned.
No.
Do we have any comments on the Spotlight of the True List before we move on? Let's get into what we missed. We're going to run through a couple of the events that we missed during our time off from True Hill Heat, and we'll dive into AEW Fyter Fest, which was the main event of the time that we missed. WWE Stomping Ground. Of course, the big moments that we talked about before. Seth and Becky Lynch retained their titles respectively against
asses and kissing babies.
Yes, against Baron Corbin and Lacey. Becky saving Seth, helping him overcome Lacey Evans as a special guest referee in the main event against Corbin.
Special guest referee.
Kofi Kingston retained the WWE Championship against Dolph Ziggler in a cage match with a great exit of the cage that everybody remembers.
I want to know who wrote that. Like that to me.
Probably Jeff Jarrett. Roman Reigns defeats Drew McIntyre. We had Drew Gulak became finally. I called it. Finally. He became the new Cruiserweight
and you know
champion.
what? And shout outs to the Cruiserweight, because once again, people try to downplay fucking pre-show shit. It was by far, like that Stomping Grounds pre-show gave me feels of Sunday Night Heat that I haven't felt in years. Like it was a bit of, vignettes, it was a bit of promos, it was the match, like and the match was so good. It was just like Can y'all do this every pre-show, please and thank you, so that people can stop shitting on the pre-show?
I think Stomping Grounds expectations were so low, it was bound to exceed expectations. That's why I think it turned out being a good show. And then finally, of course, Ricochet defeated Samoa Joe for the United States Championship. Just 48 hours after
the booty hole.
Yes, his booty hole, finger popping himself
now
in his
know
booty.
If y'all dick pics and booty holes get you titles.
Those video links came out and were exposed over social media. We're not going to dive into that, but we just had to mention that. The match of the night, I would say, is between the Cruiserweight Championship match between Gulak, Nese, and Tozawa, and Ricochet and Joe. What do you say? Which one? U.S. title or Cruiserweight?
No, the Cruiserweight definitely stole the show.
U.S. title or Cruiserweight?
Wow. I
can't give booty hole that much credit.
That U.S. title match was pretty damn good.
It was good.
It was pretty damn good.
So Janelle,
at the same,
and I hate
Stomping Grounds pay-per-view.
So that
was actually not bad.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It actually
was actually not bad.
Expectations.
I don't think anybody watched it.
Nah, we watched it at Legends.
But it wasn't. Shouts to anybody that went to Legends for the job it is and to support them.
Thank you.
Because that was not a pay-per-view that drew us.
No.
But
you can tell by the arena shots.
It over-delivered.
You can tell by the Tacoma Dome holding 23,000 and they only had 4,000
Why the fuck would you do a pay-per-view in Tacoma, Washington? Like, that's where they fucked up from the beginning. Like,
also true.
Like, why? Like, I'm big on, because behind the scenes, it's all about marketing to me. Marketing and advertising, that's how my brain goes. Why the fuck would you market and advertise a wrestling show in Tacoma?
Tacoma usually gets a good turnout, but it was just a shitty presentation on the pay-per-view. It came off of the Super Showdown, which got bad publicity, so it had a lot of things working against it.
It was not well put together.
Put in the comment section, guys, especially on our YouTube channel, Cruiserweight title or the U.S. title. What was the best match from Stomping Grounds?
I'm going to say U.S.
JJ says the U.S. title. Janelle says the Cruiserweight Championship. I'm going to say the MVP of the night was definitely Ricochet.
No.
Anything from the spotlight of the True Heels before we move
Give
on
me
to
the
the
points.
next event?
Two things. Jamie Tannock says...
I forget at times that you're a part of that because we don't see you as much.
I told you when I disappear.
So low key, like when Heavy Machinery got into this whole triple threat shit for Extreme Rules, I was like, ooh, points. Yes,
points.
Give me points.
Jamie Tannock says, I thought the Kofi Cage exit was the best ending of a cage match in years until I watched NXT last week and Io versus Shayna had one of the best endings ever.
Jamie.
Well,
Jamie. You always know how to ruin something. It had one of the best cage endings in WWE in a while. Yes, I will say that cage match between Shirai and
But
Shayna
if we're
great.
talking about clever, the last between Kofi and honestly Shane taking the shirt off shit was hilarious though. Like that to me, I was like, oh, that's typical Shane shit.
And I'm sorry, everyone wants to forget that Shane versus Miz cage match.
I don't know why it happened, but
why did you bring that up?
Because it was clever how he got out of the fucking.
This is the same woman. This is the same woman at Supercard of Honor 2018. Her favorite moment was Bully Ray turning heel. I'm just saying.
She was great when he OD. What was it on? I almost said hamburger.
Her favorite moment of ROH Final Battle 2018 was the Sandman coming out.
That's markout moment of 2018. Cause we went in the dark for how long, and I was just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? Like you really typically when the lights go out at a show, you can see the person, you can see who's coming in.
I fucks with you,
You can see not a fucking thing until the lights hit, and it was fucking Sandman. I was like, ECW, like come on, that's how I became a wrestling fan. So I'm sorry that was my markout.
Speak up.
I'm just saying. And being ringside, I was like, oh shit.
Perfect segue. Speaking of ROH, we got to get into their last big event.
I want so much better for them.
It was Ring of Honor Best in the World 2019. Their biggest moments, number one, I would have to say, is Flip Gordon joining Villain Enterprises after Villain Enterprises successfully defended the 6-man tag team titles against Lifeblood. It looked like Flip Gordon was going to join Lifeblood, but instead he joined Villain Enterprises.
Very good.
Unfortunately, on the 450 splash to end the angle, he did injure his elbow and may be out for a number of months. Unfortunately,
wow.
So
Flip, stop injuring yourself, please and thank you.
Seriously,
stop.
Bruno needs you for the points. Eli Drake.
Bruno scored like 12 points last week. Yo.
So wait, have you guys?
His whole team is on life support.
Because I've explained it on our podcast, on the Java Six podcast, whenever we talk about points. Have you guys told your viewers about our secret society wrestling fantasy league?
We kind of have talked about it a little. I'm gonna talk about it more in detail probably at the end of the year.
Okay, good.
When we pull it up officially to the viewers and everything.
Because you know why? Because the True Heels got some copywriting to do.
Exactly. You gotta keep it low key, you know.
I'm excited for the Rumble thing.
Let me tell you something. ESPN hears about this shit. He's gonna get swept under the rug like a thief in the night.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to give my money.
And guess who ain't gonna get a hashtag? Or guess who ain't gonna get an ad?
Ones doing it.
Guess who ain't gonna get an ad?
We are the only ones.
They might be other ones that's doing it, but they might just be doing wins and losses.
And honestly, they're doing it probably not in a way like we do. Like I feel like for us, it's so much more fun, especially because we know each other. When you do fantasy leagues and stuff like that, whether it's like football, basketball, you don't know the people. Like it's just like, I just have my team. Like, no, like for us, it's like I got more points than you in your face.
It definitely makes the Legends viewing parties a lot more fun.
It does because
you can tell who has who by how excited they get when people win.
When you mark out to a potential like Roppongi 3K entrance. You have wrestling fantasy issues.
Pretty much.
Issues.
Pretty much. I got Roppongi 3K.
I'm so mad because fucking Larry had Brock.
Oh, absolutely.
Fuck. When Brock got Money to Bank, I was like, oh, you can't be fucking kidding me.
Eli Drake, he signs with NWA at Best in the World, and he teamed with Nick Aldis to verse the Briscoes. Them boys. The Briscoes continuing their feud against NWA at Best in the World, and they're going to be versing God at the Manhattan Center at Manhattan Mayhem coming up this coming month. Shane Taylor retained the TV title against Bandito, and then finally in the main event, very controversial and probably the topic that's most been talked about since this pay-per-view.
Absolutely.
ROH World Champion Matt Taven ends the undefeated streak in ROH of Jeff Cobb in the main event for the world title. What was your thoughts on Jeff Cobb's undefeated streak being ended by Matt Taven and this 10-minute main event that really got a lot of heat from the fans?
I just want to be like, ROH, that's what we really doing? Like, that's for real? That's the route you want to go? Okay. That's cool.
It could have ended and it could have been in controversial fashion, but to give somebody that has been as hot as Jeff Cobb a 10-minute main event
and
just explains the direction that, I mean, he's the world champion, so I understand it being the world champion.
That match should have happened, but
the fact that you could have put on an hour-long match with Jay Lethal, and then you got somebody that is as capable of stealing the show with Jeff Cobb, and you give him a lackluster as non-bullshit paid attention to 10-minute main event that ended his winning streak, that doesn't, it's like, it clearly, so that right there, that moment just gave me the green light to say ROH is dying.
Well, ROH is
right. I mean, I know they. I mean, I've been trying
to tell you.
You know what? They're
I've been trying to hang on. I've been trying to hang on to it.
Support.
I've been trying to hang on to it because it was one of those things that you know they're gonna go through a rough year when they lose the entire elite.
They lose
when
80%
they lose
of
the
their
elite.
roster.
When they lose the entire elite, you know they're gonna go through a struggle.
But I'm not telling you that it was bad before that.
But their struggles are leading to horrible choices.
And they made an even worse decision because Delirious, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I said it on Heated Opinion again, I'll say it right now. Delirious is the worst booker in American pro wrestling right now. And they made it worse by putting Bully Ray and Joey Mercury in creative positions that had even more power than Delirious. Two people that seem to be just as bad.
Don't give a fuck. Like you talk about throwing shit on the table. Like that's throwing shit on the table. The only thing that I've liked about Ring of Honor is honestly the partnership with NWA and NWA kind of rebranding itself, kind of refreshing itself after almost like 30 fucking years. Like I think the partnership is good. I think it helps with most of the talent kind of being taken by AEW kind of. But just the way that they're positioned, like They gotta do better, and y'all already know how I feel about that women's division. Like
horrid,
like
horrid women's division.
Like seriously, if you're gonna do a division, do it right.
Shouts out to Maria Manic for debuting at ROH Fest.
And Tasha Steele.
Well, she the TV taping.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, truthfully, NWA shouldn't even be around no more. Like, let's just keep it 100. Let's just keep it 100. Let's keep it a stack. The only reason your NWA literally just latches on to people that, I mean, they got a couple, but most of their big stars is people that no one wants.
I don't.
Yo, no one wanted Eli Drake.
I would say, yeah.
Cut the bullshit. No one wanted fucking Eli Drake. No one cared about Eli Drake.
When they signed Eli Drake, I was like, so you basically are becoming the home for ex-Impact champions. Because you got Eli Drake, you got Cowboy James Storm, you got Nick Aldis, like, that's too many.
They're becoming a wasteland.
But
to basically help redevelop these wasted careers.
But I just feel like I don't feel like they're being wasted though. Like I feel like, especially I just think differently. I'm excited about it because it's something new, it's something different, and honestly, it's what's keeping ROH on life support. It honestly is. Like I watched a TV taping the other night, and it was I was like, why the fuck is Cole Cabana on TV? But cool. Wow. I was like, it was fucking Cole Cabana. It throws me off. And I saw Cole Cabana versus James Storm, and I was just like, yo, what in the fuck am I watching? But if it wasn't an NWA sanctioned match, I would have never saw that.
It's true.
So I feel like there are certain pieces, if they do it correctly, and that's always what it is. If it's done correctly, then you will enjoy it. I think having a partnership with a certain company is good because it gives you that kind of morale. It gives you that kind of opportunity that you wouldn't have. Like, for instance, like Evolve's relationship with WWE. We wouldn't have the likes of, like, Dream. We wouldn't have, Cole. We wouldn't have Riddle. Like, we wouldn't have those guys if it wasn't for Evolve. So, I feel like, resurrecting NWA is not a bad thing. Just in my opinion.
They're not resurrected. They you know what they are? They like their lips is above the water.
I don't know where you were going with that.
The word. I
was like,
their lips is above the water,
like,
and they catch.
We already talking about ass.
And they catching their lips and they catching the air.
Oh my God.
They are not being revived.
All right. Well, match of the night, it was Bandito versus Shane Taylor. If there's one spot from the show you need to see Shane Taylor attempting a crossbody to Bandito, and Bandito caught him. Yes, Bandito. At 170 pounds, Bandito caught big ass 350 pound Shane Taylor and did not even stumble. He caught him and just stood there. That was amazing. And the MVP, even though he got injured, it was definitely Flip Gordon. Flip Gordon becoming a part of Villain Enterprises. But a spoiler alert from the ROH TV taping the following night, Cowboy James Storm, like she just said, he defeated Colt Cabana to become the new NWA National Champion. Colt Cabana was supposed to be out with an injury, so it was an impromptu match, but Cowboy James Storm got the victory there. New Japan Pro Wrestling had two big events, their first ever pay-per-views, big-time events in Australia. It was called Southern Showdown. Night one featured one of the best matches I've seen all year, which was Will Ospreay versus Robbie Eagles for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Some of the best storytelling and action in this match. It was great, amazing. Will Ospreay getting the victory in that one. GOD retained the IWGP Tag Team Championship.
That match was really good.
It was really a good match against Juice Robinson and Mikey Nichols. We also had El Phantasmo retain the Revolution Pro Cruiserweight Championship against Rocky Romero. And then on night two, the big story, it was Chaos getting the victory over Bullet Club. The Chaos members being Kazuka Okada and Will Ospreay teaming with Hiroshi Tanahashi to versus the Bullet Club members of Jay White, Bad Luck Fale, and Robbie Eagles. After the match, the Bullet Club attacked, and Robbie Eagles officially became a babyface and joined Chaos, betraying the Bullet Club. So that one was a very interesting show for sure. I would say the match of the week with those two shows was Ospreay versus Eagles, and the MVP was, of course, Robbie Eagles great storytelling by New Japan with the whole Robbie Eagles turning babyface. This was a couple of months in the making. They teased it in the New Japan Pro Wrestling Best of the Super Juniors tournament, and then paid it off in Robbie Eagles' home country of Australia. So that was great. So let's get into AEW Fyter Fest. The second big event from All Elite Wrestling was this past weekend, this past Saturday, and quite the mixed bag it was. It started off the night with HOG, House of Glory, shouts out to those.
Private Party getting a full-time contract off of this match that was on the pre-show. See, people appreciate pre-shows out here. They came out and basically kind of stole the show a little bit. They showed everyone there who they are, so shout out to them. Being, from New York, being from House of Glory, shout out to Red and Brian XL.
Shout out to Wilkins.
Sir Wilkins, we see you out there. You're a Wrecking Crew. A lot of people that come out of HOG, so it was really good to see Private Party in that light.
But the pre-show took a big nosedive right after that. The Liberian gimmick of Leva Bates and Peter Avalon completely killed the crowd.
Because it's weird.
It's weird as fuck. No one seems to get it. And then that match between Allie and Leva Bates was pretty bad. It was one of the worst women's matches I've seen all year long.
And that says a lot for you.
Yeah. And I watch WWE a lot, so that's
I'm like, oh.
Allie tried, but Leva Bates is not that good. She's not that good. There's a reason why she got cut from NXT.
A huge reason, but neither here there.
It is what it is. And then one of the even more embarrassing matches of the year, we had Jabali, which is the CEO of CEO Gaming Convention. He went one-on-one with Michael Nakazawa in a hardcore comedy match. That was embarrassing to watch.
Why did we do that?
If you watched it with a non-wrestling fan, you would have been embarrassed. It would have been very cringeworthy to watch. They had plastic flamingos being used as weapons.
Why?
Why? The Lord. I didn't see any of this.
All I will say is that I'm going to keep the same energy. AEW, cut this shit out. Cut this shit out. We do not need to see a non-wrestler versus Michael Nakazawa for a 10-minute hardcore match.
That definitely doesn't that remind you of a certain, WCW World Champion, what David Arquette?
Oh no. That's not the same. They put the world title on David Arquette.
But I mean, in terms of a non-wrestler,
they put a non-wrestler on the pre-show. If you're gonna put a non-wrestler on the show, put him on the pre-show. I got the thinking on it.
Can't have them follow Private Party though.
But yeah. Private Party's match probably should have main evented the pre-show, not been the first match on the pre-show.
I think, but honestly speaking, I think it shouldn't have been on the pre-show. I think because, especially with their focus being tag teams right now. That should have it should have been the main event. Or like second to last.
Well, I guess I can see it on the main show, but definitely not towards the end of the card. I think they pretty much have been getting down the formula of the top 3 matches. They've been getting it good, especially with the first 2 events. So a couple of notes from the main show. We had Shima get a victory over Christopher Daniels, setting up Shima's match with Kenny Omega at Fight for the Fallen. We had I think it was Riho. Riho got the victory in the 3-way women's match. We had a little bit of a scuffle between Riho and Yuka Sakasawa, so we might be setting up a match between those two. Hangman Page won a fatal 4-way against MJF, who cut one of the best heel promos of the year.
Yes.
Fan chanting, "You suck." And he says, "Well, your mother swallows," is the best response to that any heel has given a "you suck" chant ever.
And for that reason alone, I am not trading MJF.
and I definitely think I asked you about it too, but I actually wore for LOW.
Yo, MJF has literally earned me no points yet. He has earned me no points.
But he will.
But that man is, you just see star written on this kid, man.
And he's young.
Absolutely. Jimmy Havoc was in that match as well. Really the star of the match to me was Jungle Boy.
Right, and that's who I thought should have won. Like, I was like,
I felt MJF should have won to give him his first victory.
At the end of the day, I don't think Heyman Page should have won.
No, I don't think. But it made sense for him to win because he's in the world title match.
But it's like, then why have him even in the match with the 3 of them? Like, it was just
I get that.
Make sense.
He shouldn't have been in the match to begin with.
Yeah, like,
he really shouldn't have been in that match.
It's weird.
He had no reason in that match. He's about to go into a feud with Chris Jericho. Why is he in this match?
I mean, this match did set up him versus Kip Sabian for the Fight for the Fallen show. So I see that they are trying to build him up with momentum going into All Out when he versus Chris Jericho.
Bomb to Y2J. I appreciate it.
Hey, Chris Jericho puts the eyes on the company. He's the perfect first champion. Following that, we had a great star-making performance by Darby Allin versus Cody in a time limit draw. I did not expect that. I definitely expected this to be an easy win for Cody. But the real story from that whole performance and that whole was, Shawn Spears coming out with an unprotected chair shot to the skull of Cody, splitting him open, getting him 10 stitches to the back of the skull. Apparently, they gimmicked the chair, but the part that wasn't gimmicked hit the back of Cody's head, splitting him open. So, but that sets up Shawn Spears versus Cody for All Out. What did you guys think of that?
I think it's good. I kind of interested to seeing the Shawn Spears being the bad guy and coming in and kind of being like, well, I'm this guy that doesn't really fuck with you, and I'm gonna beat you up, kind of. Like, I like the heel version of him, because all we knew was like him counting his fucking 10.
Yeah.
So like right now I'm intrigued. I'm like, okay, and hopefully the promos match everything. Like I want to see the correct build up for it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I like how they set it up in a very a subtle way, which was on the road to Fight for the Fallen. The road for Fyter Fest. If you don't have a subscription to the Nightmare Family, which is Cody and Brandy's YouTube channel, definitely subscribe to them, because the Road to shows are definitely great, and it helps you like stay in touch with AEW and understand what's going on. So they did a promo package for Shawn Spears when he officially signed with AEW. Cody was there with QT Marshall, which is like his assistant, and he basically said, oh, this guy is going to be a good hand. He's going to be a good hand for the company, a good worker. He could potentially become a good coach for us in the future. So basically undermining Shawn Spears.
Like making sure he ain't shit.
So that set up Shawn Spears basically doing this attack on Cody. So then following that, we had the big 6-man tag team matchup. I'm sorry, if you want to see a video game equivalent of a wrestling match, this was it. We had the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega coming out as Street Fighter characters, Ken, Ryu, and Akuma versus Laredo Kid and the Lucha Bros, and spots galore, destroyers, super kicks. I'm not going to go into the details. It was ridiculous.
It's a little crazy.
But it was definitely the match of the night, in my opinion. And then, of course, the final match of the night was Jon Moxley's debut in AEW versus Joey Janela. Joey Janela with a great spar-making performance by him as well.
Yes.
That elbow drop from the top of the ladder was ridiculous. Those bumps into the barbed wire.
Oh, man.
You know what? I ain't gonna lie. With that joy, I was hoping I was going to hear that for the jiggalos and jiggalettes, and I hope he was going to fuck this shit. I was hoping he was going to do that. I was really hoping he was going to be superhuman during that spot right there, because he's done that spot before to Joey Ryan, and I thought he was gonna bring it. I mean, he jumped off like a fucking 90-foot ladder. I thought he was just gonna just yell out, "Fuck this shit," and just kill himself there. I really thought he was gonna do it.
I was like, as he was climbing, I was like, "Where are you going? Where? What are you doing? Stop! Get down!" Like I was just like, "Get down!" And he just kept going up, and then I was like, "Well, you got down. All right."
I'm sorry, those thumbtack spots were ridiculous.
They were a bit wild.
Yo, he took his shoes and socks off.
The thumbtacks was in his heels.
And that shit hurts.
That hurts more than anything.
If you've experienced like thumbtacks like on the floor just mistakenly in the house, that shit hurts.
Yes.
That's like not equivalent, but it's definitely the same borderline as Legos. That shit hurts.
Yes.
That shit hurts. So
it was definitely a ouch moment. I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she was cringing at that. She was like, she's experienced the thumbtacks in her foot.
That's what I'm saying.
So
like
you
haven't. I'm not saying do it, but I'm just saying like you can relate. Like that shit is not fun.
Absolutely, I would say the MVPs for sure of the show is either between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin.
Of course, Jon Moxley.
You say Jon Moxley. Who do you say?
His debut match.
I mean, the fact that Jon Moxley can be looked at as a joke that had Mitch the Plant can then turn around literally a couple years later to have a chant, "You sick fuck, you sick fuck."
I know
that
was one of the greatest moments of his wrestling career. Because you know he's been waiting a couple of years to be called a sick fuck again. So shouts out to John Moxley for that. So I would agree with that. Let's hear from the Spotlight and the True Heels.
2 things. Jamie Tannock says the pre-show was basically a live episode of BTE. Wasn't the best choice to draw new viewers in.
No, I would. Jamie, BTE is funny. That was not funny. That was like the WWE network version of BTE. That's what the pre-show was.
And Sir Wilkins asked, what do you think they will do with the librarian gimmick?
Nothing. Try it again. Try something different.
Need to kill it.
I feel like it's leading to like a love story between Peter Avalon and Leva Bates. This is more of AEW trying more of the goofy storytelling, which is not what we need. We want y'all to be the sports heavy promotion. So stop with the goofy sports entertainment shit.
No, I don't want it.
Anything else?
Jamie Tannock also says, Cody versus Darby was my match of the night. Some of the bumps Darby took had me shook, and I thought they'd have him lose, so the draw ending was a shock. Elite match was a close second.
Well, no, the draw I think makes sense because it doesn't make neither one of them look weak.
Yeah, and it actually in essence put over Darby's body bag at the beginning of the show because technically Cody is 1-1, one win, 1 draw. So he did accomplish his goal in that. So
I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm just saying, like if this kid takes bumps like that, he ain't gonna last 5 years.
That coffin drop onto the apron was ridiculous.
He takes bumps like that.
Wild.
That kid is not gonna last 5 years. He takes bumps like that.
He's just gonna have to do a lot of stretching.
The one that was more sickening to me was when he got thrown out the ring and he hit the ring post and just splatted onto the floor.
What a great bump!
I was like, holy
He can take a bump.
fuck! Like your body's not supposed to smack the ground like that, like at that speed.
Like the best way I could describe Darby Allin.
Try it, man. Try that shit.
For people that didn't
I
see,
had something in my mind that
try that shit.
For people that didn't see Fyter Fest, I can describe Darby Allin as a mix between Spike Dudley, Jeff Hardy, and Mick Foley.
Yeah,
That's
it's a good mixture. Yeah, the pot. Yeah,
that's what Darby Allin is. So we got to get into what's next. We're going to run through our predictions and preview for the 2 big events this weekend in Dallas, Texas. First, tomorrow, we got New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax 29 opener. If you don't know what New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax is, it is the best premier tournament in New Japan Pro Wrestling, arguably in all of professional wrestling. It is 20 guys in 2 different blocks. 10 guys for each block. You have to verse each person in your block, so 9 matches. The guys with the best overall record or the most points at the end of all 9 matches, the 2 finalists from each block will verse at the final event, and the winner of that will get a shot at the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom, like Janelle from HR said.
Yeah.
This event in Dallas is the first time the G1 Climax will take place in the United States any of the nights, so we got to get into
Shout out to anyone that's there in Dallas. Like, I know a few people that have actually flown between yesterday and today that actually are in Dallas, Texas for the G1 Climax. So shout out to you guys that are out
Shout outs to Carissa and Jacqueline, 2 of our friends we met in San Francisco last year. They're out in Dallas, Texas for the G1 Climax 29 opener. First we got a couple of prelim tag team matches before the top 5 tournament matches. We got Roppongi 3K, which is the former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Sho and Yo, will versus the IWGP and ROH Tag Team Champions, the Gorillas of Destiny. Who do you got?
GLD.
Nobody fucking with Gorillas, huh? Who you got, JJ?
I mean, this is definitely
GOD all around. Shouts out to Tama. We got Shota Umino, who was supposed to be teaming with John Moxley, but he will be teaming with Tomohiro Ishii, and they will be versing Ren Narita and Jeff Cobb. This is previewing Ishii versus Cobb, which is going to be on the first B block night and in Japan when they get back to Japan. Who you got in this one?
I'm just gonna go with Jeff Cobb.
Of course, your boo.
Who I saw outside Manhattan. I was like, where you going? Where you going? Take this picture with me real quick.
Who you got, JJ?
I'm gonna go with Ishii's team.
You're gonna go with Ishii and Umino. I'm gonna agree with Janelle from HR. I'm gonna go with Narita and Cobb. We got Yoshihashi teaming up with Hiroki Goto to verse Chase Owens and Jay White. This previews Jay White versus Goto on the first B Block night. Who you got in this one?
I'm gonna say Owens and White.
I'm just personally just cheering for the crown jewel right now. So I want to see them win this match. I'm really, Switchblade. I'm kind of falling off on a little bit, but I want to see the crown jewel get some shine, man.
Our boy Chase Owens, check out our interview on our YouTube channel. Yes, I'm going to go with Chase Owens and Jay White winning this one. And we got the last prelim match is going to be Jushin Thunder Liger teaming up with Juice Robinson and Toru Yano to verse the LIJ trio of Bushi, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito, the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. This is previewing a couple of different matches. We got Naito versus Yano coming up on the first B Block night. We got Shingo versus Juice. Who you got in this one?
I'm gonna go with Liger, Robinson, and
Yano.
I'm gonna say Yayo.
I'm unfortunate. It's fortunate. I'm gonna actually agree with Miss Janelle here. I'm gonna go with Liger, Robinson, and Yano because I think Naito's gonna pay him back in the blocks.
Yeah.
I think LIJ is gonna win this one. LIJ always have fun 6-man, 8-man tag team matchups, and this is gonna be no different. But we gotta get into the G1 Climax 29 A block opening matchups. We got first the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion and the best wrestler in the world, in my opinion, Will Ospreay.
I'm glad you put that disclaimer. My opinion.
He's the best wrestler in the world. If you don't know, then you need to start watching. And he's gonna be versing the hometown boy in Lance Archer. Who you got in this one?
Will Ospreay. Come on.
You got Will Ospreay. Who you got in this one, JJ?
I mean, the man's the best in the world. I mean, I'm not choosing any other route. I mean, it's kind of stupid.
He's the best wrestler in the world, but he's a junior heavyweight in the heavyweight division versus a guy in his hometown. I'm going with Lance Archer. You got to build up. It's all about the story in New Japan and him being one of the top baby faces. He's got to have a little bit of a struggle in his first G1. Who you got? Evil versus Bad Luck Fale.
I got Evil.
Bad Luck Fale just doesn't win these types of matches, so I'm definitely going with Evil.
I'm going to stick with the Bullet Club and our theme of picking people that we've interviewed before. Shouts out to Bad Luck Fale and our interview on our YouTube channel.
I mean, I would love to see the fall. I would love to see the fall happen, but I just think it's going to happen after the match for some reason.
Who we got? We got next Zack Sabre Jr., the Rev Pro.
Zack Sabre Jr.
British. Well,
points.
We know Janelle's vote. The British Heavyweight Champion Zack Sabre Jr. versus Sonata from LIJ. Of course, you're going with ZSJ.
My number one overall pick. Why would I not?
Who are you going with, JJ?
ZSJ.
Going with ZSJ. Yeah, I'll go with ZSJ as well.
It's not hating. It's literally it's common sense.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm going with Zack Sabre Jr.
It's common sense. It's not hate.
No, it's hate.
This one is a match I'm very much.
I'm voting for you to get points. How is that hate?
I still want someone on your team though, so we gotta talk about this.
They're negotiating fantasy wrestling right now. This is a first time matchup I'm very much looking forward to. We got Kota Ibushi versus Kenta. Kenta's first match outside of the WWE. Who do you got in this one?
Welcome back. I'm gonna go with Kenta. Actually,
Kenta's gonna lose. I'm going with Kota.
I'm going with Kenta as well. I think Kenta needs this win. This is his first.
He gotta build his. He's back in New Japan.
Whatever.
Well, not back in New Japan. This is his first match in New Japan. He's a pro wrestling
exactly why he's
aficionado, but he's coming over to New Japan for the first time, and he needs to get this victory.
Probably gonna get injured again.
And this one,
damn, jeez.
I gotta deal. When I tell you I have no faith in this man, I have no faith in him. I have no faith in Kenta.
Felt that in my
I have no faith in Kenta.
This guy's horrible.
Yo, Kenta.
Why do you guys like him?
I have no faith in Kenta whatsoever. Whatsoever.
IWGP Heavyweight Champion Kazuchika Okada will go one-on-one with his arch enemy, his main rival of all his career, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Tanahashi versus Okada for the first time ever in the United States. Who do you got in this one?
I'm gonna go with Okada.
Going with Okada. Who you got in this one, JJ?
I'm gonna go with Tanahashi actually pulling the mild upset in this match.
This one is tough. Okada and Tanahashi are known for their G1 draws because I think they had 2 or 3 different time limit draws. If you know anything about these guys' career, they don't know how to have an under 30-minute match. They just don't. They just always, with the 30-minute time limit in the G1, they always go to a draw. But I feel like this year will be different, and I'm going to agree with Janelle from HR, and I'm going to go with Okada.
I'm not going to lie. Like, I think, and once again, I'm all about seeing like real life, like seeing, like we can always watch a match on TV, and you guys always talked about Okada, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. But seeing Okada for the first time in Madison Square Garden for G1 Supercard, it definitely made me a fan. Like I definitely saw what you guys were talking about. At first I was like, oh, this is all hype. Fuck you guys talking about. But being there, seeing it in person, and kind of living it and having that experience, I'm like, nah, like he's actually really dope. So
and that energy in MSG for him from the
entrance
ridiculous
from
everything
from the beginning to the end.
You see,
where all he spoke was 2 words of English, and the whole fucking arena went crazy. So I'm just like,
yeah,
okay, I can fuck with it.
I love it.
I'm with it. So we got to get into Impact Slammiversary. Oh, we got to hear from the Spotlight in the True Hills. My producer says.
Just 2 things. Jason Michael Campbell has 2 comments. SP3, you need to stop riding Will Ospreay's jockstrap.
Okay, the guy that's writing Triple H's jockstrap.
Hey, let's talk about tropes.
And he agrees with JJ. He has 0 faith in Kenta either.
Wow.
Guys,
you agree
Tough
with JMC?
Tough
Okay.
crowd.
All right, you and JMC getting along, I see.
Why? Because he changes his name? I'm going to believe in him now? Get the fuck out of here.
No, but okay.
He never.
Well, let's move right along.
WWE changed his name.
Yeah,
Yo, he came to New Japan and didn't even cut his own promo. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. Goodbye.
Shibata
Bye. He changes his name. His name is Kenta in all caps. Who gives a fuck?
It means something.
He's yelling at you.
What the fuck ever?
Kenta.
What the fuck ever, yo? He's going to sleep himself, and I'm in a coma on his ass.
Wow.
Let's run through Slammiversary.
He came out there and
before JJ really gets upset.
I'm good.
We got Slammiversary is in Dallas, Texas. Slammiversary celebrating the anniversary for Impact Wrestling. This is now the 17th year for Impact Wrestling, and my oh my, what a journey it's been for Impact. Yes, very much so. First Blood match is one of the main matches on the card. We got a match that's been building up for a while. Eddie Edwards versus Killer Cross. So with Impact Wrestling, Janelle, if you haven't been on or seen us before, we like to explain to these guys what's going on with these matches because we understand it's on Pursuit. Not all of our viewers watch Impact Wrestling.
But if you do, viewers, watch on YouTube, on Impact's YouTube page, they always have the top 5 moments of every show that they do. So take it upon yourselves. Don't have these guys do all of the work. Take it upon yourselves. Watch it on the YouTube page. Catch up on, and it will tell you literally the 5 matches or the 5 top things of really the 5 matches that are happening that night.
Or you could just watch the clips for each episode. That's what I do.
Yeah,
That's what
I do both.
So Eddie Edwards and Killer Cross have been feuding for a while. This feud centers around Eddie Edwards' kendo stick, which he officially calls Kenny. It was broken by Killer Cross. Sandman came into the picture and granted him a new kendo stick. This led to Killer Cross kidnapping Sandman and water poloing him, putting a towel over his head and pouring water over his head. Yeah, waterboarding. I'm sorry, I said water polo. So waterboarding Sandman, which led to Eddie coming to Killer Cross and ripping his flesh off of his face, which now leads to this first blood match between Eddie Edwards and Killer Cross. Who do you got in this one? This is why I love explaining these Impact storylines, because every time he gets a great reaction from our producer and top guy JJ.
What? I'm gonna go with Killer Cross because I like Killer Cross.
I went to the tapings. I didn't even know all this.
Really? Oh shit!
I do better than Impact at the tapings. Who you got? Who you got, Killer Cross? Who you got, JJ?
What the fuck did you just say?
Sandman.
You're annoying.
I'm gonna pick the candlesticks.
Cross or Edwards? Come on.
Listen, I gotta go.
Get it together, yeah. You got a hot date.
Killer Cross, I guess.
I guess you get it.
Killer Cross, yeah, Killer Cross across the board. Killer Cross has been going through contract disputes with
What
Impact.
that really got you?
So they need to get
Everything.
They need
Everything.
to get him a win here.
The stick named Kenny. The psychopathic nonsense. It sounds like 17. It literally sounds like 17 stories tied up into one wrestling match that involves a kendo stick named Kenny.
I mean, it's the same like when Al had head.
Next up, we got equal intergender match. It's going to be Tessa Blanchard going one-on-one with Sami Callihan. This whole feud started when Tessa Blanchard recently had a match against Disco Inferno, knocking out Disco. From there...
I'm still to this day trying to figure out where the fuck they dug up Disco Inferno.
Hey, who knows? He's been doing a podcast with like X-Pac.
It is like the most... Like,
Move into...
when he had the match with Scarlett, I was like... Where the fuck did they dig up? It took me 10 minutes to realize it was Disco Inferno. I was sitting here like...
Took a while.
What?
OVE started a feud with Scarlett and Fala Bala, which led to OVE about to attack Scarlett, which led to Tessa coming out for the saving. Yeah. This led to the whole feud between Sammy and Tessa. Sammy talking down to the woman, trying to abuse the woman's locker room. He went into the women's locker room and started drinking and dirtying it up. Tessa stood up for the woman, and then recently on Impact, it was finally Sammy attacked Tessa with a baseball bat, leading to this matchup at Slammiversary.
Let's go Tessa.
You got Tessa. You going for the ladies?
Yeah.
Who you got, Tessa or Sammy? JJ.
So now we pussy. We can't even. So now we got to use bats to beat up chicks.
Mm-hmm.
We got to use bats.
I mean, no one.
Come on. They dragging it, yo. He got to use a bat. A bat. Yo, I'm so over it.
Just go with Tessa. So
Tessa or Sammy?
I'm just gonna go for gimmick purposes and pick Tessa.
I'm gonna go with Sammy. Sammy's lost too many big matches. He does not need to lose to a woman.
Yes.
I love Tessa, and Tessa is the strongest woman in all of Impact. And no offense, a woman can stand on the same level as men, but Sami Callihan does not need this loss.
Time out. I'm reading some. Disco Inferno is wrestling still?
Yeah, yo.
We moved past that. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyway, next up, we got Moose versus Rob Van Dam.
From the top fans that's on here, like,
I literally just said that.
What
I'm
the
sitting next to
flying
you and
fuck?
I said that.
I was not paying attention.
Well, you better
Obviously.
pay attention then.
Moose versus Rob Van
Yeah,
Dam. This whole feud started when Rob Van Dam returned to Impact Wrestling. He got victories over the members of the North. The North had been teammates with Moose.
Love the North.
Moose has been claiming that he's going to become the new hardcore legend and he's going to take out Rob Van Dam by doing that.
Moose, absolutely, you're not doing that. Like,
so who you got?
I mean, Black Excellence, I'm going to go with Moose winning, but you're definitely not about to be a new, like, forthcoming of hardcore fucking wrestling. Like, that's not happening. Like, I don't even see you stepping on my thumbtack. What the fuck was you talking
He's
about?
not Joey Janela.
He's not John Moxley. He's not Sandman, actually.
Good point. Who you got, Moose or RVD?
I mean, Moose has got to win a match eventually, right?
Yeah, I would hope so, especially after he lost last year.
Right? It feels like Moose gets so
and
many.
that build up to last year's Slammiversary was everything in Toronto. That shit pissed me off.
It feels like Moose gets so many pushes to lose every big match that he's in.
He does. It's like
he's got to win one eventually. I mean, Rob Van Dam is what, 50? Like he doesn't need the fucking matches anymore. He's just there to collect the paycheck and roll a blunt. I mean, he don't need the matches anymore. He's just there to entertain the people and get money for weed. He ain't there
for Katie Forbes.
I'm just saying, like, he needs to get as many bags as possible so he never has to wrestle again, so he can smoke as much as possible.
I agree.
He needs bricks. He needs bricks. He needs bricks.
Yeah, I mean, that's a different drug.
No, he needs bricks of weed.
Well,
no, but weed's not in bricks, though.
I know, but he's gonna make it. If anybody can make bricks of weed, it would be Rob Van Dam.
Or Val Venus.
That too. Monsters Ball Fatal 4-Way Impact Knockouts Championship match is going to be Taya Valkyrie defending against Su Yung, defending against Rosemary, and the returning Jessica Havoc. This match has been building for a number of months. This all started when Su Yung killed Allie in the dark realm.
Way back.
Rosemary decided that she was going to take out Su Yung from there. She won a match where she got ownership over Su Yung. James Mitchell, who is the owner of all of the Dark Realm, took offense to that, of Su Yung being taken away from him by Rosemary. So he recruited Havoc to return to Impact Wrestling and take out Rosemary leading to taking the Impact Knockouts Championship. Taya Valkyrie saw that these two monsters of Su Yung and Havoc were teaming up against her, so she recruited Rosemary, and it leads to this whole big Fatal 4-Way to determine the Knockouts Championship. Who you got?
I like that it's Monsters Ball for the Impact, for the Knockouts Impact division. I love the fact that it's Monsters Ball. For points purposes, I would like Johnny Impact's wife to win, Taya. But honestly, I actually am a huge fan of Su Yung, so I actually want her to actually win.
Okay. Su Yung, that's an interesting pick. I didn't expect that. Who you got, JJ?
I have a feeling Rosemary's taking this. Monsters Ball, it only fits who's in this match. I just see Rosemary taking this match.
I'm going to go with Havoc winning this match. I wanted to go with Rosemary. I feel like Rosemary is the one with the most momentum. She is the baby face that needs to eventually regain the Knockouts Championship. But I feel like it would mean more if Havoc wins the title and she beats the monster known as Havoc to win the Knockouts Championship. So I feel like Havoc, just returning to Impact Wrestling, needs this victory to establish herself as the monster of the Knockouts division. We got the Impact Tag Team Championships is on the line. This one might be the match of the night. We got LAX, which has been having the match of the night at pretty much every Impact pay-per-view.
Thank you.
Yes. And they'll be versing the Rascals. This whole feud started when the Rascals invited LAX to their clubhouse. If you've ever seen the Rascals clubhouse, it's similar to the circle sessions on That 70s Show. They get very high up there in their clubhouse. So they invited LAX, and LAX basically challenged them to get a shot at the Impact Tag Team Championships. They had their match. Two of the members of the Rascals were allowed in this match. The third member of the Rascals came in at the end of the match and actually got the victory for the Rascals, causing a title change until a second referee came out and said that wasn't the Rascal members in the match, and LAX were given back the tag team titles. LAX took offense to this and took offense to the Rascals' mischievous ways, which leads to this rematch at Slammiversary. I'm going to start us off, and I'm going to say this is the time for the Rascals to win the Impact Tag Team Championships. You got to take those titles off of LAX so LAX can make their decision this summer of if they want to stay in Impact or not.
Correct. And I mean, I've heard through the grapevine that they're not resigning. So due to that, I definitely see the Rascals winning. I definitely see them doing the Freebird and Impact with the tag titles, which I think is dope. And it's hard because Impact has a lack of tag teams, so already it's like if LAX doesn't resign, their tag team division is gonna be a shit show.
I mean, they do have talent.
I like the North. So I would like
OB.
I would like to see like the North versus the Rascals down the road. So that's just me personally. But I definitely see the Rascals winning clean. Going against LAX, unfortunately, that would be my point. So and I'll take match of the night points.
That's actually a good point because the North and Moose got the victory over the Rascals at the last pay-per-view, so it does already set it up.
You gotta put two together. What you think?
I'm not picking against LAX until they actually lose.
Okay, let's move on.
Pretty simple. Impact X Division Championship is on the line. We got Rich Swann defending against Johnny Impact. Johnny Impact won the X Division Championship title match at WrestleMania weekend at the Impact United We Stand show. He won Ultimate X to win the X and get this title match. He just lost the Impact World Heavyweight Championship, but he wants gold in Impact, and he goes up against Rich Swann. What you got in this one?
Good old Black Excellence, which one?
Who you got, JJ?
Michael Elgin is in a title match?
No, we're not there yet. Pay
which one is Johnny Impact? My bad.
Pay attention.
I kind of read the top and I was like, Michael Elgin.
I'm going with Johnny Impact. And then finally in the main event, Impact World Championship, Brian Cage versus Michael Elgin. Who do you got? Who do you got, JJ?
Well, fuck y'all. I'm going with Johnny Impact.
We heard you.
No. I said my first comment was Michael Elgin was in the title match.
But why was that the first? That wasn't
because I saw his stupid name there, and I'm like, why is he in a title match? But that's beyond the point.
Because if you've been watching Impact, they've been building.
Duh.
The goddamn.
Elgin versus Cage.
Duh. I haven't been watching Impact.
Well, that's your fault. But who do you got?
That's really not my fault because that's not my loss. Really isn't. I'm gonna definitely pick the Machine. What the fuck is Michael Elgin doing in title matches? But go ahead.
It only took a day.
Yeah.
Nigga, you wanted to take two?
I'm actually gonna go with Elgin. Actually.
Fuck four.
Because if you've been watching Impact, you would see why.
He's been undefeated. He's been taking out everybody. It makes sense. It makes sense, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Cage to get the victory. He just got the Impact Championship at the last pay-per-view, and he got that injury, so he hasn't been able to perform.
Shit.
I think he needs this victory here. Oh, okay. Well, we just had news that Zion's hurt for his first summer league match. So who cares? So that is all for Impact Slammiversary. So I hope you guys watch the G1 Climax 29 opener in Dallas tomorrow. If you are in the New York City area, come on down to Legends, 33rd Street between 5th and 6th Avenue. Janelle from HR, Sir Wilkins, and Mr. Black from the Jobber Tears podcast will all be there for their next big viewing party, their first time viewing party for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, so we have our G1 Climax 29 viewing party tomorrow in real life time, but TV land. And then next Sunday we have our Extreme Rules viewing party at Legends again. And then once again we haven't really officially put it out there, but we have SummerSlam weekend. Unfortunately, it's not in New York, but we are kind of creating our own SummerSlam weekend here at Legends and with the Jabba Tears podcast. So we are actually having Hot 97's own Peter Rosenberg hosting our SummerSlam viewing party at Legends. We are super duper excited. He definitely has done it before for us, so we're glad to have him back. And we're working out some things for our NXT Takeover viewing party and also our Jobber Slam 5. So it is our 1 year Jobber Slam anniversary. So a lot of things are coming up this summer. So just stay tuned for more information. But once again, if you don't want to spend all the monies on buying New Japan, come out to Legends tomorrow and come watch with us.
And yes, Jobber Slam 5 is the anniversary of my 2-0 record when I became the True Heel Phenom. And
how appropriate is that?
Yes. So come on down to Legends for SummerSlam weekend. It's going to be a great time.
I had a match in a year.
Well, let's see what happens.
It's not my fault.
It's not.
It's not my fault. I refereed a match.
Mind you, I still have the referee shirt that I bought for you. That didn't come in time.
Boom. So check us out on Facebook. If you are not a member of our True Hills group page, please become a member today. Also like and support our True Hill Heat group page, as well as the Pro Wrestling Spotlight. We want to thank everyone at the Pro Wrestling Spotlight, JJL, Lewis, the Golden Boy. Those guys are awesome. And of course, everyone at Jobber Tears Podcast. Definitely like and support their page, as well as their new group page. Their new group page had over 300 members since they added on the new admin, our part Jobber Tears, part True Hill Security himself, Dre Robinson.
The real security.
Yes,
the real deal.
The real deal security. A shout out to a couple of our promotions out in New York City, Battle Club Pro, as well as Imperial World Wrestling. Top Guy JJ, tell them where they can follow you on social media.
So on Instagram, True Hill _
really
Top Guy JJ. I mean, shit. It's just
wow, what a way to end your show.
Instagram. I mean, you can find me be there, but I mean, as far as Facebook, I'm telling you, I'm only putting my Instagram because Facebook, I mean, is very clear what the fuck my name is on Facebook.
Wow, we're just so lackluster here. Okay, I'm with it.
Oh no, I'm just me.
Okay, all day.
All day, every day.
All day.
Janelle, tell them where they can check you out on social media.
At the Java Tears Podcast, because I don't really disclose my personal account because that shit is private. And
she just dumped me for the same shit that she just did.
But at the Java Tears Podcast,
God.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. Java Tears Podcast. I mean, but if you really wanted to find me, you would find me.
Yo, shoot a DM and
no, do not. Yo, let me tell you a funny story before Sid actually. So they
it goes down to the DM.
So the boys, in our obnoxious ass group chat, the boys always get on me. So if I snapshot something from Instagram, they're like, "Yo, why the fuck do you have 10 DMs in your inbox? Like, what are you doing?" I said, "I don't always check them. Like,
we got good eyes."
Yeah, but that's the first thing they always see. They don't see the picture that I sent them, the words that I sent them. They're always the boys are always focused on. Oh, so you got 15 DMs. Why? How? I'm like, I don't check all of them, so it doesn't matter. But stop clocking.
She's a popular woman.
I'm not. I try not to be, but I'd rather you guys support the podcast than I'm a part of the podcast. So,
but how you just dig me for what I literally just did, but then follow with the same shit?
No, it was.
I told you to follow me on Instagram.
It was how you said it.
You
was just like, oh, you know what, bitches, you can find me at Top Guy JJ.
Oh, because you can find me on Java Tears Podcast, but you can't find me anywhere else.
Yeah, no, I'm good. You can find me there. That's great.
She did the same shit, guys.
It's
the same shit.
It's alright.
Well, follow us on Twitter at True Hill Heat. Follow me at TrueHill_EpicSP3. And of course, you can check out my new podcast, Toxic Talk, with my toxic brethren, Sir Wilkins from the Jobber Tears podcast, as well as the living legend, Larry Morgan. Of course, support the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. We got brand new interviews with the Our Father, Darius Carter, as well as Yaya, the gifted one. Check out those interviews just posted up this week. Check out this podcast. It's going to be up this following week on our YouTube channel and will be up on iTunes. Check out all our past podcasts on our iTunes group page. So until the historic True Hill Heat.
I'm so mad that I'm off by one.
You're off by one.
I'm off by one.
But it's okay.
Happen?
It's alright. You're off by one.
Okay.
But you are number one. From Inside the Indies, for Janelle from HR, for Top Guy JJ, I'm the True Hill Phenom SP3, and we are signing off.